Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 131. And before we get into the main bulk of the episode, it is time for Day 4 of the 2023 Advent Calendar. For the main bulk of the episode, and in this episode, I'm going to be looking at episode 29 to episode 32 of the Neighbours reboot, which were broadcast from the 6th to the 9th of November 2023. So let's start off by looking at episode 29. Here's my review for that episode. The episode starts off with a previously recap and the theme tune. Reese tells Byron that she's been ordered by Tess to return to America. Reese also tells Byron she isn't leaving. Remy and Cara talk about Cara's relationship, friendship with Philippa. Dex is still angry with JJ. Andrew talks to Tony about getting the DNA results tomorrow. Sadie listens in on this conversation. Sadie checks in with Andrew and voices her concerns about JJ potentially being Andrew's son. Byron makes toast for him and Reese. Byron and Reese discuss their different families, including Reese's missing half-sister. Wendy questions Andrew about his actions and JJ potentially being his son. Andrew tries to reassure Wendy. Cara and Remy decorate their house with their belongings. Cara and Remy discuss how best to support JJ. Reese stands up for Byron to Tess. Reese tells Tess she isn't leaving. Cara and Wendy are still at odds. Dex hands JJ a box knock before dropping it right in front of him. Tess stands up for Reese to Paul. Tess declines Paul's offer of dinner. Susan finds Wendy crying. Susan hugs Wendy. Wendy apologises to Susan. Wendy explains her and Andrew's actions to Susan. Susan explains her relationship with Holly to Wendy. Tess spies on Byron and Reese. Tess warns Reese about her father's poor health and her relationship with Byron. JJ helps Remy and Cara unpack. Remy and Cara have an argument. Tess tells Paul she's leaving. Leo tries to convince Paul to get a hobby such as golf or archery. JJ looks at Mike's motorbike, which Andrew is currently looking after while Mike is in the UK. Wendy checks in with JJ. JJ checks in with Wendy. Reese tells Byron about Tess. Byron asks Reese to stay in Elizabeth. Byron compliments Reese. Dex empties a bag of JJ's belongings. JJ calls Dex a crybaby. Dex tackles JJ to the floor and repeatedly punches him. Cara and Remy separate JJ and Dex. JJ runs away using Mike's motorbike. The DNA results have come through and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. Right, so before I get on to the videos that I'm going to show you in a second, I'm going to do a little bit of explaining so it actually makes some sense. So, after the end of the 4th episode, episode 32, which I will be reviewing at the end of the episode, the week after, so episode 33 to 36, has been titled Flashback Week, which includes loads of returning guest characters, which I'm going to get to. But there's 2 trailers that I want to show you for Flashback Week, which, when I'm recording it, I've seen 3 out of the 4 episodes. So yeah, you'll probably be getting that episode in a couple of days' time. But yeah, here is one of the trailers for the Neighbours reboot Flashback Week.
If you want to fully understand, you're going to have to go back 2 years. Did you ever love me?
So sorry, I can't do this.
The reason we left Erinsborough, it'll all come out.
Here is the other Flashback Week trailer.
Neighbours returned with a wedding that had a surprising twist.
You make me so happy.
To find out what happened, we're going back 2 years.
What are you doing here? Oh my God.
Dad, can you really look Therese in the eye after what you've done?
Why would I believe a single thing that you say? You have made a very, very big mistake here.
Neighbours, 4 o'clock weekdays on 10 and 10 Play.
Next up is my review of episode 30, which was broadcast on the 7th of November 2023. This episode starts off with a previously recap and the theme tune. Cara and Remy tell Andrew that JJ has run away on Mike's bike. Haz and Mackenzie spy on Byron and Reese. Byron catches Mackenzie and Haz out. JJ stops riding and throws the helmet onto the floor. JJ seems to be having a panic attack. Dex blames himself. JJ texts Cara. JJ only wants to see Cara. Leo tries to convince Paul to go on a date. Paul spies Byron and Reese getting out of the car. Leo stops Paul from breaking the law. Cara finds and hugs JJ. JJ would prefer his dad to be Andrew rather than the American donor. Cara takes JJ home. JJ apologises to the Rodwells. Andrew tells JJ that he's not his biological father. Haz and Mackenzie mock Byron being in love. Mackenzie tells Haz about getting together with Hendrix. Holly interrupts Mackenzie and Haz. Haz insults Mackenzie's pool ability. Paul mates up with Reese, but Byron covers for Reese to Paul. The Rodwells discuss the DNA results. Sadie meets up with Mackenzie, Holly and Haz. JJ apologises to Dex. Dex tells JJ his martial arts skills came from JJ. Dex consoles JJ. Mackenzie watches Haz and Holly play pool. Holly asks for Mackenzie's dating advice. Mackenzie's jealous of Haz and Holly potentially getting together. Therese insults Paul. Therese rubs her relationship with Toadie in Paul's face. Mackenzie checks in with Sadie. Mackenzie gives Sadie some advice on forgiving Andrew. Remy explains her true feelings to Cara. Cara takes accountability for her actions. Remy and Cara talk about JJ's search for his biological father. Paul sets off the fire alarm to have a sleep in Reese's room. Everyone has to evacuate from the wall to hold Harold and Lasters. Leo searches for Paul, and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. Now, with the videos that I've just shown, there was also in the description, so on some of even this channel, so the podcast, some of them will have, I haven't managed to finish them all yet, will say, oh, if you like this episode, check out, as we'll do Neighbours, we'll use Neighbours, check out the Neighbours playlist, which will have every video that I've done about Neighbours. But in the description was the following, which were accompanied by some photos released on the Neighbours social media channels. So, Tell All episodes are finally here. The look back episodes will focus on what's happened in Erinsborough over the last 2 years. Neighbours fans can expect to see the return of some of their favourite characters, including Takaya Honda as David Tanaka, Matt Wilson as Alan Brennan, April Rose Pengilly as Chloe Brennan, Jodie Gordon as Ellie Conway, Bonnie Anderson as Bea Nielsen, Jacinta Stapleton as Amy Greenwood, Olivia Junkier as Yashri Rebecca, Benji McNair as Mel Kennedy, Ian Rawlings as Phil Martin, Morgan Baker as Callum Rebecca, and Ariel Kaplan as Imogen Willis. Series newcomer Hannah Monsoon. will join the show as Nicolette Stone. Don't miss the 4-day event premiering 13th to the 16th of November on Amazon Freevee in the UK, US. It's on Prime Video in like South Africa. Basically every English-speaking country, it's either on Freevee, Prime Video, and in the US, no, in Australia, it's on Channel 10. But yes, so the photos there, so we've got, I'll just do them. So I've read the synopsis, so the first one here is B. Nelson, played by Bonnie Anderson. Then we've got Aaron Brennan, played by Matt Wilson. David Tanaka, played by Takaya Honda. Then we've got Nicholas Stone, now played by Hannah Monsoon. Then we've got Mal Kennedy, played by Benji McNair. Then we've got Imogen Willis, played by Ariel Kaplan. Then we've got Chloe Brennan, played by April Rose playing Billy. We've got Ellie Conway, played by Jodie Gordon. We've got Phil Martin, played by Ian Rawlins. We've got Amy Greenwood, played by Jacinta Stapleton. We've got Yashvi Rebecca, played by Olivia Junkier. And we've got Callum Rebecca, played by Morgan Baker. Coming up next is my review for episode 31, released on the 8th of November 2023. The episode starts off with a privacy recap and the title sequence. Leo finds Paul snooping in Reese's room. Paul assumes Reese is an addict. Leo stands up for Reese. Leo agrees with Paul. Sharon talks to Nell. Sharon tells Nell that Melanie has moved house. Nell gets Melanie's new address from Sharon. Wendy gives some food to the Wagner Murphys. Remy overtalks Cara. Wendy tells Andrew that she has given some food to the Wagner Murphys. Wendy storms off. Nell tells JJ that she wants to meet up with Melanie. Paul asks Jane to spy on Reese and to ask Byron for some insider knowledge. Jane stands up to Paul. Paul tells Jane that Byron has bought a car. JJ and Nell brainstorm the truth about the breakup of Melanie and Toadie. JJ covers for Nell. Jane puts Byron, checks that Reese is okay. Jane investigates after Paul's interference. Byron catches Jane out. Jane tells Byron about Paul's evidence. Jane apologises to Byron. Byron tells Jane that Paul is gameplaying. Has is disgusted over Andrew's recommendation of banana and mayonnaise. Remy bumps into Andrew. Andrew and Remy agree to be friends once again. Cara and Andrew talk about Remy and Wendy's hatred of Philippa. Andrew asks Cara to read Philippa's diary. Byron confronts Paul over his accusations of Reese being an addict. Wendy finds Andrew with Philippa's diary. Sharon and Jane talk about Melanie. Sharon knows Eden. Reese talks to Paul. Paul seems concerned for Reese's well-being. Reese has been crying. Byron and Reese go on a road trip. Nell finds Melanie's new house. Nell gets knocked out by Eden, and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. Next up will be a clip from that episode featuring Nell and Eden. Next up is the last episode which I'm actually going to review in this episode, and that is episode 32, released on the 9th of November 2023. The episode starts off with a previously recap and the theme tune. Andrew gives Philippa's diary back to Cara. Remy insults Cara's cooking. Toadie and Jane nearly bump into each other. Jane tells Toadie that Nell's died of school. Toadie calls Nell multiple times with no answer. Byron and Reese talk about Paul's snooping. Byron is proud of Reese standing up for her family. Toadie and Therese ask various people about Nell's whereabouts. JJ texts Nell telling her Toadie's looking for her. Andrew tells Wendy that he returned Philippa's diary to Cara. Toadie tells Andrew that Nell is missing. JJ returns home. JJ insults Cara's cooking ability. JJ tells Ren and Cara that he knows where Nell is. Toadie, Therese, Holly, Haz and Andrew go to find Nell. Cara and Remy argue about Cara's previous actions. Wendy talks to Jane about Andrew. Byron and Reese are still looking for Reese's missing sister, Krista. Holly catches up Haz on Paul and Therese and Toadie and Melanie's previous relationships. Toadie notices Nell's bag. Andrew kicks the door open. Andrew and Therese time to calm down Toadie. Remy and Cara tell each other that they love each other. Byron and Reese find out that Krista stayed at a youth hostel. Holly and Haz find Nell. Haz offers Nell some water. Haz tells Toadie he has found Nell. Holly and Melanie meet. They both know Eden. Melanie knows Holly as Carl's daughter. Nell, Holly, Haz and Melanie return to Ramsey Street. Remy checks how Nell is medically and physically. Melanie asks Holly to talk to Andrew about Eden. Melanie asks to talk to Toadie and Therese inside. and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. Next up will be a selection of videos, which includes a clip featuring David and Paul from Flashback Week. We've got an interview with Yashvi. We've got a clip featuring Toadie, Therese, Haz, Holly and Melanie. We've got a behind the scenes video featuring Toadie and Melanie. And we finish off with Robinson's Roundup.
Hi, my name is Olivia Junkia. I play Yashvi Rebecca, and these are my Ramsey Street revelations. Yashvi is back to fill in the gaps of some old eps. So she's not really back, it's more like flashback stuff. It's a little teaser, I would say. Okay, so I moved back to where my mum and dad was because I had a really bad accident in a car crash. Watch out, watch out! And Ned eventually went and met up with her wherever she lived. So I think she's having a lovely time at Ned. She's back in the force. I think she's in a lower role, something less active. She's slowly working herself up and she still keeps in contact with Levi. Rest assured, Yashvi and Ned are solid. They are amazing. I have been living in the UK. I didn't get recognised that much in the UK. I did get sometimes, I got really random spots. Like I got recognised in Florence in Italy, which was bizarre. And then at like a swimming pool in Stratford. Yashvi, I think, will come and go. I don't know. That's it for me for now. So these are my Ramsey Street revelations and I'll see you guys soon.
Back again. Here I am. Mel's ready. Are you ready? Exciting, isn't it?
This is where we're going to find out where it all went wrong with Toadie and Mel.
So, that's it. I am done for the day. For a little while. Anyway, I know what's going to happen. You know. So you're just going to have to wait and see.
Oh, g'day you lot. Back to Robinson's Roundup, hey? Do you know, I thought that I got rid of Reese this week. As it turns out, she's staying.
I cleared my schedule to stay here.
Then unclear it, because I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not going to rest until she's gone. You know that, don't you? And you know, I am sure that I spotted that young JJ on a motorcycle this week. What's he doing? That kid's a liability. Honestly. And young Nell got caught up in a bit of drama, I hear. And I hear that Melanie might be back on the scene. Can't say I'm looking forward to that one. Although, I've got to tell you, you wait till you see what we've been hiding.
Can we go inside? I think you might need to sit down to hear what I have to say.
Well, that's it for the roundup. See you later.
So, let me know if you did watch the episode, what you thought of my reviews. If you didn't, maybe go and check them out on Amazon Freevee in the UK and the US, Prime Video in basically every other English-speaking country, and on Channel 10 in Australia. But, yeah, remember, so let me know that in the comments below. Remember, you can also like and subscribe, and that's it for the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 131. Goodbye. Welcome to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 137. And before we get into the main topic of this episode, it is time for Day 10 of the 2023 Advent Calendar. Day 10. I'm forgetting the days now. Day 10 of the 2023 Advent Calendar. Now it's time for the main topic of this episode, which is the reviews for the 4 Neighbours episodes, which was the 13th to the 16th of November 2023, which were, those episodes were titled Flashback Week. So yes, I'm recording this about a week after those episodes have aired. But you'll be seeing this like a couple of weeks ahead anyway. It's like 2 and a bit weeks, I think. So not too bad. But yeah, so we're going to start off by reviewing episode 33, which was broadcast on the 13th of November 2023. The episode starts off with a privacy recap and the theme tune. Toadie, Therese and Melanie have a chat with Susan. There was a flashback to Toadie and Melanie meeting up with Mackenzie, Amy, Ashley and Callum. Melanie talks to Amy and Ashley about the street party. Toadie, Callum and Ashley discuss the ceremony. Okay, I'm just going to pause there for a second just to reinforce something. So flashback week. So when the finale aired at the end of July 2022 and came back in September 2023. That is 14 months in real time. In Neighbours Land, that's been 2 years. So that's why we flashback, because we basically started at a wedding and we're kind of finding out how that happened. Anyway, where do we get up to? About the street party, discuss the ceremony. Krista knocks on Toadie's door and Melanie answers. Krista gives Melanie her phone number. Melanie meets up with Krista. Melanie was Krista's housekeeper. These flashbacks take place the day before Toadie and Melanie's wedding. Amy, Ashley, Melanie, Callum and Toadie discuss Paul and Therese's reunion. Amy, Ashley and Callum go to bed. Melanie talks about her wedding day to Toadie. Therese interrupts Melanie. Holly and Andrew talk about Eden. Melanie talks about the street party. Chloe, Ellie, Toadie, Melanie, B. Callum, Therese, Paul, David and Alan are at the waterhole. Chloe tells the others she's moving to Sydney. Chloe and Ellie kiss. David and Aaron kiss. Paul and Therese kiss. Toby and Melanie kiss. Krista watches on. Melanie talks to Krista. Krista tells Melanie she was at the wedding ceremony. Krista asks Melanie for some cash. Lance is revealed to be the grown-up of Amy's baby. Therese interrupts Melanie again. Toadie reassured Therese. Melanie asks Holly about Eden. Everyone helps clean up Ramsey Street. Melanie steals some money from the drug dealer for Krista. Melanie makes some drinks for Amy, Lance and Phil. Amy tells Melanie she's moving to Queensland. Melanie gives Krista the cash. Melanie is a wanted criminal for holding drugs on CCTV footage. Melanie asks Krista to leave her alone. Therese... where do they go up to? Melanie asks Krista to leave her alone. Therese doesn't believe Melanie. Toadie asks Melanie why she didn't tell him sooner. She didn't want to lose him. Holly explains to Susan, Toadie and Therese how Eden is involved. Byron and Reese are still looking for Krista. They find a picture of Krista with Holly and Eden, and the episode finishes up with a coming up trailer. Next up is 3 clips have been revealed. One is behind the scenes of a scene for the episode with them cleaning up Ramsey Street. We've got an interview with Amy and Lance, and we're going to finish off with an interview from Ellie and B.
So this is a very exciting day. We
My name is Jacinta Stapleton. I play Amy Greenwood.
And I'm Andrew Bibby, and I play Lance Wilkinson.
And these are our
Ramsay Street Revelation. From us for now.
We'll see you soon.
I am Bonnie Anderson and my character is B. Nielsen.
And I'm Jodie Gordon and my character is Ellie Conway.
And these are our Ramsay Street Revelations!
Next up is my review of episode 34, which was broadcast on the 14th of November 2023. So the episode starts off with a previously recap and the theme tune. Holly tells Susan she was back in Amnesborough around the time of Toadie and Melanie's wedding. Holly and Eden talk about their family trees. Holly and Eden kiss again. Like with the previous episode, some of this is flashbacky stuff. Holly and Eden kiss. Holly watches Izzy and Shane talk about their visions of Power Road. Holly watches Izzy cheat on Mel with Shane. Holly is panicking. Eden tries to calm down Holly. He succeeds. Eden tells Holly that she can't afford to stay at Lassiter's. Now, let me try that again. Eden tells Holly that they can't afford to stay at Lassiter's too much longer. Holly sees Ellie and B talking. Holly introduces them to Eden as her cousins. B calms down Ellie. B takes Ellie to Ramsay Street. Eden and Holly go to Ramsay Street and see Chloe and Ellie kiss, then they leave. Holly is furious at Izzy. Susan interrupts Holly. Byron tries to call Holly but gets nowhere. But obviously she doesn't answer. Byron tells Reese he is there for her and they try to find Holly. Holly and Eden meet Krista at Harold's. Eden asks Holly to ask Carl for a loan. She doesn't want to take advantage of Carl and Susan's wealth. Krista, Holly and Eden hang out in Holly and Eden's room. Krista tells Holly and Eden that she never wants to see her family ever again. Krista, Holly and Eden go travelling together. Tony works out that Eden was attracted to Krista. Krista goes to meet up with Melanie. Holly hides from Mel before bumping into him. Andrew fills in Tony to raise Melanie, Susan and Holly about Eden. Andrew goes to find Eden. Holly asks Mel to not tell Carl and Susan that she's here. Holly checks Mel is okay with Izzy cheating on him. Mel covers for Holly. Melanie and Mel have helped Krista and Holly. Money-wise, it is. Tony takes a time out, as does Therese and Susan. Melanie calls someone from Therese's landline. Reese remembers her last conversation with Krista. Aaron, David and Nicolette talk about Melanie telling Tony, Therese and Susan about her actions. Melanie called David, Aaron and Nicolette. They're on their way back to Edinburgh. They all agree to do this. And the episode finishes up with a coming up trailer. Next up will be a behind the scenes video featuring Holly, a clip from the episode featuring David, Aaron and Nicola, and an interview with Phil.
Hi guys, so we're later.
Hi, my name's Ian Rawlings. I play the character Philip Martin, and this is my Ramsay Street Revelations.
Yes, Krista asks Melanie for more money. Krista shows Melanie a card Reese gave her. Melanie leaves the car. Melanie bumps into David. Melanie tells Tony, Therese and Susan that David, Aaron and Nicolette are on their way. Nicolette warns Jane. David believes that they should have been up front when it first happened. Andrew calls Tony, telling him the police still don't know where Eden is. David is Melanie's new business partner in the Drinks Diva. David tries to calm down Melanie. Melanie tells David everything. David gives Melanie some advice. Tony, Melanie, Aaron and David talk about Japan. Melanie spots Eden on several occasions. Krista blackmailed Melanie. Hugo hurts himself on the ladder of the Drinks Diva. Tony gets angry at Melanie for her dishonesty. Susan checks in on Tony. Melanie and Krista meet up face to face. Melanie works out Krista and Eden's true intentions. Holly interrupts Melanie. Holly talks to Krista at the garage. Garage. Depends where you're from, I suppose. Holly finds out that Eden has been cheating on her with Krista. Holly confronts and pushes Eden. Eden tries to justify his actions to Holly. Holly works out Eden is after Krista's money. Eden tries to intimidate Holly but fails. Holly turns up at Carl and Susan. Holly cries in Carl's arms. Susan remembers this conversation. Susan tries to reassure Holly. Holly and Melanie believe Eden is to blame, not Krista. David, Aaron and Nicolette are outside Lassiter's. David goes to ask Paul to do the right thing. Aaron and Nicolette go to Ramsay Street. David tells Paul that Melanie is at Tony and Therese is telling them everything. Paul believes Melanie is insane. David corrects Paul, saying that Melanie is at a breaking point. Paul loses it and tells David that Melanie has to be stopped. David tells Paul that he has to own up. David and Paul get in the lift. The episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. Next up is an interview with Mel, as well as an interview with Callum.
Hey, it's Benji McNair here, Malcolm Kennedy.
Ended, I cut my hair in real life, and then obviously coming back here, they saw my hair and went, that's a bit shorter. So I think you'll buy into the reality where maybe
The episode starts off with a previously recapped and the title sequence. Nicola, Aaron and Isla are at Toadie and Therese's. Melanie is crying, then Toadie walks in. Melanie blames herself for Hugo's accident. Melanie storms off. Melanie talks to David. Melanie spots Eden. Melanie and David chase him. Ellie, Leo, Imogen and Therese greet David and Melanie on the rooftop. Melanie is introduced to Imogen. Melanie and David spot Eden. Paul is suspicious of David and Aaron's behaviour. Melanie tells Aaron, Nicola and Paul what has happened. Krista and Melanie meet up. Melanie pushes Krista into the swimming pool. Krista seems to have drowned. Melanie pulls Krista out of the swimming pool and tries to resuscitate Krista. Melanie tells Paul what has just happened. Paul tries to stop Melanie from telling Toadie, Therese, Jane and Susan what happened. Aaron, David, Nicola, Melanie, Paul and Holly are taken to the police station. Paul tells the police he's a victim too. Paul meets Eden. Eden congratulates Paul on his vow renewal. Eden intimidates Paul. Paul gives Eden $500,000. Paul asks Melanie, Nicola, David and Aaron to keep quiet. Paul tries to sift blame to Eden. Andrew tells Paul that Krista will lose his sister. Toadie calls Clara. Melanie cries when she sees Toadie and Therese together. Melanie and Toadie reminisce about their wedding date. Jane, Nicolette, Therese, Toadie, David, Aaron, Susan and Holly are at the waterhole. David and Melanie want to tell the police. Aaron, Nicolette and Paul want to keep quiet. Therese talks about her and Paul's reunion at Toadie and Melanie's wedding. Paul abandons Therese in their vow renewal. Therese storms out of the waterfall and confronts Paul about his actions. Tony does the same to Melanie, and the episode finishes off with a pretty good trailer. Finishing off this episode of the podcast will be a clip at the end of that episode, featuring Paul, Therese, Toby.
Welcome back to Robinson's Roundup. Have I got some news for you? Oh my goodness, Melanie came back with...
Listen, the worst person I could have reached out to.
And she had to go and open a big gob, didn't she?
You covered up someone's death!
Yes, because I loved you. Talk about drama. See, I told you that Eden was a nasty piece of work, didn't I, eh? And it was so great to see my son David with his husband Aaron and Nicolette back as well. Even if I didn't really get the warm reception I'd hoped for. Well, there you have it. Now you all know the real reason why I left Therese and Mel left Toadie. Question now is, what happens next, eh? Find out next week. See you later.
Yes, so that's all the reviews for this episode. So that's actually it for the Everything Podcast Season 2, Episode 137. But before I go, remember, you can comment below. Let me know what you thought of the episodes if you watched them. If you didn't, let me know what you thought of my reviews. And also remember, you can like and subscribe. That's it for the Everything Podcast Season 2, Episode 137. Goodbye. Welcome to the Everything Podcast Season 2, Episode 145, recorded on the 30th of November 2023 and released on the 18th of December 2023. We're starting off with Day 18 of the 2023 Advent Calendar. Of the 2023 Advent Calendar, and the main topic of this episode is reviewing another 4 episodes of Neighbours, episode 37 to episode 40 of the reboot, 223, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's what's coming up next. We are starting off with episode 37, which was released on the 20th of November 2023. The episode starts off with a previously recap and the title sequence. Holly tells Reese that Krista is dead. Toadie and Therese talk about the events that took place in Flashback Week, which was the last 4 episodes. Toadie and Therese ask each other if their feelings for Paul and Melanie respectively have changed. Cara takes Nal and Hugo home. Nal asks Toadie what is going on. Holly fills in Byron and Reese about Krista. Holly tells them that both Melanie and Paul are involved. Toadie fills in Nell and Hugo. Nell tries to convince Toadie to be Melanie's lawyer. Nell wants to visit Melanie in prison. Toadie says no to both of these. Nell calls Melanie family. Toadie believes Melanie isn't. Jane talks to Aaron, David and Nicolette about their reasons for leaving Erinsborough. Reese talks to Andrew about Paul's part in covering up Krista's death. Leo is caught up to speed about the events of Flashback Week. Jane blames Paul. Jane tries to convince Aaron, David and Nicolette to return to Erinsborough. Leo and David disagree about paying bail for Paul. Reese rings her father to tell him about Krista. Toadie and Therese talk about Paul and Melanie's next steps. Toadie checks in on Therese. Leo decides to pay Paul's bail. Nicolette talks to Jane about her recent life choices. Byron and Nicolette reunite. Paul bursts into Toadie and Therese's house before Toadie sends him home. Reese confronts Paul about his part in the death of her sister Krista. Therese talks to Susan about her relationship with Toadie. Toadie talks to Andrew about his relationship with Therese. Reese and Byron are on the roof of Lassiter's, the place where Krista died. Reese asks Byron about his opinion of Melanie. Reese visits Melanie in prison. Reese and Melanie remember meeting each other previously. Reese questions Melanie about Eden. Melanie warns Reese about Eden. David talks to Leo about his actions. David calls Paul Paul. Leo calls Paul Dad. Toadie talks to Paul about Therese. Therese talks to Melanie about Toadie, Nell and Hugo, and the episode finishes off with a cover trailer. Next up is a behind the scenes video which shows the rooftop stunt featuring Melanie Pearson played by Lucinda Cowden and Krista Sinclair played by Magella Davis, I think it is. So let's have a look at that video.
So tonight, it is going to be a beautiful night. Ta-da!
Next up is my review of episode 38, released on the 21st of November 2023. The episode starts off with a previously recap and the title sequence. Leo and Wendy talk about the Christmas fair. Leo says sorry to Reese. Leo forgives Paul. Toadie tells Therese that he visited Paul. Therese tells Toadie that she visited Melanie. Nell listens in on this conversation. Jane talks to Aaron, David and Nicolette about them not returning to Erinsborough full time. Nicolette visits Paul. Paul questions Nicolette's intentions. Holly gives Reese some photos of Krista with her and Eden. Holly believes Eden's plan is intertwined with the Sinclair's money. David visits Melanie in prison. David checks in on Melanie. David believes Paul's intentions were selfish and self-centered. Mackenzie and Eden try to get Holly to remember where Eden might be hiding. Holly remembers something. David tells Aaron and Nicolette about his visit to see Melanie. Nell asks Jane about Melanie. David tries to reassure Nell. Jane promises now she will go visit Melanie. Mackenzie, Haz and Holly find several potential locations of Eden. Haz goes with Holly, Mackenzie goes with Byron and Reese. Therese finds her and Paul's vow renewal program. She throws it in the bin. Tony checks in with Nell. Jane visits Melanie in prison. Haz and Holly talk about Mackenzie. Haz laughs at the thought of Holly studying medicine. Aaron, David and Nicolette talk about Erinsborough High closing and the redesign of Harold. Paul is surprised to see Chloe. Chloe is standing in for Reese and Paul. Haz and Holly hold hands. Holly finds Eden. Haz and Holly stop Eden from running off. The police arrest Eden. Jane fills in Nell. Holly visits Melanie. Jane fills in Toady about Nell and Melanie. Andrew thanks Haz and Holly. Holly finds Krista's blanket. Holly searches the house. Holly finds Krista alive. Coming, and the episode finishes off with a complete trailer. Next up is a clip from the episode featuring Chloe, played by April Rose Pengilly, and Paul, played by Stephen Dennis.
Well, if it isn't the felon of the hour.
Chloe, what are you doing here?
Leo said you were in a bind, Ellie and I talked it over, and Lassiter Sydney were happy to give me a sabbatical.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming, Chloe, because right now you're exactly what this hotel needs. So good.
Next up, we've got a cast announcement. Those bombshells keep coming. Krista is alive, which is lucky for us as we get to welcome the fabulous Magella Davis to the cast, and we've got a photo of Magella Davis who plays Krista. Next up is my review of episode 39, released on the 22nd of November 2023. The episode starts off with a previously recap and the title sequence. Tony talks to Susan, and now Susan gives Tony some advice. Holly fills in Reese about Krista. Wendy fills Chloe in about the plan for the Christmas fair. Paul learns that Krista is alive. Holly talks to Krista. Holly forgives Krista for getting together with Eden. Holly talks to Krista about Reese. Susan, Jane, Tony, Therese, and now learn that Krista is alive. Now tries to come to defence of Melanie to Tony. Jane and Susan inform Melanie about Krista being alive. Jane tells Melanie that Eden has been arrested. Melanie asks Jane about Krista's well-being. Mackenzie meets Krista. Krista blames herself for Eden's actions. Paul asks Chloe to stay long-term. Tony asks Therese for her opinion. Reese reunites with Krista. Reese apologises to Krista. Haz celebrates with Holly and Mackenzie about capturing Eden and reuniting Reese and Krista. Nell visits Melanie. Holly tells Mackenzie about her and Haz's capturing of Eden. Mackenzie has to go to work. Reese and Krista's dad hasn't called Reese back. Haz compares Holly to a chihuahua. Holly gets a message from Krista. Holly seems to be having a panic attack. Haz tries to calm down Holly. Haz and Holly kiss and sleep together. The episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. Next up, we've actually got a clip of that episode which features Reese, played by Misha Barton, and Krista, played by Magella Davis. Let's have. And my last review of this episode is episode 40, which was released on the 23rd of November 2023. The episode starts off with a previously recap and the title sequence. Paul tries to get a reaction from Byron and Reese. He's unsuccessful. Tess fills in Reese via phone. Reese's father has had a stroke. Reese has to return to the US. Mackenzie learns that Haz and Holly have slept together. JJ speaks to Remy. JJ blames himself for the issues between Cara and Remy. Mackenzie tries to be happy for Holly. Reese tells Krista she is returning to the US. Reese asks Byron to look after Krista. David is persistently against him, Aaron and Nicolette returning to Erinsborough on a full-time basis. Holly tells Sadie that she and Haz have got together. Sadie tells Holly that Mackenzie's perfect man is Haz. Mackenzie talks to Holly about her feelings with Haz. With Haz, that doesn't make sense. Mackenzie tells Holly that she should follow her heart and get together with Haz. Chloe and Paul learn about Reese's father having a stroke. Chloe introduces herself to Reese. Reese organises a taxi to the airport behind Byron's back. Cara cuts her hand and David comes to the rescue. Reese remembers a memory with Byron. David and Aaron talk about David no longer being a doctor. Haz tells Byron about him and Holly getting together. Cara shows JJ the information they've gathered on his biological father. Reese remembers some more memories with Byron. Reese says goodbye to Paul. Mackenzie continues to convince Holly to follow her heart. Haz and Holly kiss. Reese fills in Byron about the car situation. Reese thanks Chloe. Reese and Byron say goodbye to each other, and the episode finishes off with a coming-up trailer. Next up is a bunch of videos. So we've got a clip from this episode with Byron and Reese saying goodbye to each other. We've also got an interview with Nicolette. We've got an emoji game where the cast have to guess some what's the word? Yeah, storylines based on emojis, and we'll finish it off with the Robinsons Roundup.
Hi, I'm Hannah Monson. I play Nicolette Stone, and these are my Ramsey Street revelations. It's pretty juicy. That's it from me for now. I'll see you guys soon.
Can we throw them? Can we?
Yeah.
Oh.
We are playing a game to guess what storylines these are from these emojis.
I'm really bad at
This is going to be bad. Well, let's give it a go.
Ooh.
A milkshake?
girl
Don't cry over
milk.
spilt milk.
Brown-haired lady, a glass of milk.
That's a toughie.
Who is that person?
She likes
She
milk.
likes milk.
Susan, when she slipped on the milk on the floor, and she thought she was, 16 actually, but it says 17 there.
No, she couldn't remember anything after the age of 16.
16.
Which would
yeah.
make her 17.
Okay, we've got,
you've got
the
the-
LGBTQ flag.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
got the stethoscope.
Oh, I know. It's David and Aaron's wedding.
Wow.
One of the best episodes of Neighbours ever made. Incredible. It was incredible and it was history making too.
Slap the star. Oh,
A bit
the
of
slap.
explosion.
The slap. The slap. The slap.
Okay, so who do we think this is? Glass of wine, Christmas tree, hospital.
I have no idea.
Well, I'm guessing, but there's a Christmas tree. Did the Christmas tree fall on someone?
Something clearly goes awry.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure actually this happened. That a tree fell on someone.
Don't know. Okay, let's find out.
Oh, Therese, red wine,
oh,
Christmas at the hotel. Full. Oh, she gets drunk.
Well, obviously a wedding.
Oh, I know what this is. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is Toadie and Dee's wedding, where
Ah.
Toadie drives off a cliff
Cliff.
and it goes into the ocean.
Good
Okay.
spot. Okay, Carl and Susan in London. Carl proposes in the London Eye, then goes out on the Thames to marry Susan. And what happens? But Izzy turns up and has a
And
baby,
baby
on the deck,
Holly.
which Carl has to deliver. And it's
Carl and
actually
Susan
come-
get married in London and Izzy's water breaks.
Yep.
Wow.
I thought I was going to be bad at this.
Hey, we're good at this game.
I think that we were pretty good.
Oh, I'm exhausted. What a week for Robinson's Roundup, eh? Well, now the truth's out. Question is, are Toadie and Therese going to survive?
If Paul hadn't have done this, a lot of things would be very different right now.
You might still be with Melanie.
You might still be with Paul.
But he did do it.
So does that mean that my son and his family are finally going to move back to Erinsborough where they belong? So we hope so.
I'm not having another conversation about us moving back here.
Well, even though everything's out in the open now?
Our lives have moved on. I'm not going to keep going round and round on this.
You know what? I might even allow that Nicolette to come back too, if she has to. Well, I'm glad to see that that young Eden finally got what was coming to him. Can you believe that Krista is alive? Actually, that's all I need, isn't it? Another bloody Sinclair in town. Yeah. And at least I finally got my way. Well, that's about it for Robinson Roundup this week. Hope you've had a good time. See you later.
So yeah, that's it for this episode. So let me know what, if you did watch the episodes that I've talked about, let me know what you thought of them in the comments below. If you didn't, in the comments below, let me know what you thought of my reviews. And remember, you can also like and subscribe. But that's it to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 145. Goodbye. Welcome to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 150, recorded on the 3rd of December 2023, released on the 23rd of December 2023. Before we get into the main topic of the episode, it is time for day 23 of the 2023 Advent Calendar. Was day 23 of the 2023 Advent Calendar. I'm saying 23 a lot because I said it 23rd of December is when it's meant to be released. It's day 23 of the Advent Calendar and it's the 2023 Advent Calendar. Anyway, time for the main topic of this episode. So normally when I do Neighbours episodes, I do 4 reviews an episode. Now I'm splitting it up for this week and going forward into Season 3 and onwards, or beyond even. It will kind of be one review of one episode of Neighbours per episode, because by now you'll have seen my review for the first Doc 26th Anniversary Special Star Beast. I literally just reviewed the Star Beast, that was it. I didn't review anything else, I just reviewed the actual episode. So yeah, I'm going to be doing something quite similar with Neighbours, so just so it's not, well, what date is it? So yeah, I've done, as you'll have seen in the last episode? No, 2 episodes ago. I planned it out very specifically that kind of the dates all match up. So you don't have to go, oh, what date was this? It should either be in the title. I'm going to say when it's to be released and the dates of stuff. Anyway, so I'm not going to be doing just one review this episode. I'm going to be doing 2 because I only have two episodes left before the Christmas special and the finale week, and I didn't want to put them in there. So yeah, so this episode I'll be reviewing the episodes 41 and 42. Then the next episode I'll be reviewing episode 43 and 44. So we're going to start off by reviewing episode 41 of the Neighbours reboot, which was released on the 27th of November 2023. The episode starts off with the previously recap and a new title sequence, which now includes David, Aaron, Nicola, Isla, Krista and Melanie. Krista is still in a hospital. Melanie visits Krista. Melanie tells Krista she has just been released from prison Melanie and Krista apologise to each other. Krista doesn't remember any of the events from flashback week. Melanie reassures Krista. Byron talks to Chloe about possible time off. Krista is motivated to get better to see her dad. Toadie and Therese are decorating the Christmas tree. Toadie offers to give Nell a lift to get some shopping for Melanie. Jane reads her speech for the last day at Erinsborough High to Susan and Nicolette. Byron visits Krista. Krista believes Byron isn't Reese's type. Chloe visits Krista. Toadie and Therese finish decorating the Christmas tree and talk about Melanie. Chloe and Nicolette talk about Byron and Reese. Chloe asks Nicolette if she would return to Erinsborough full time. Nicolette goes to see Paul. Nicolette proposes an agreement to Paul. Nicolette sends updates on Isla to Paul. Nicolette talks to Wendy about the petitions to save Erinsborough High. Nicolette proposes a public protest. Paul declines Byron's leave request. Byron stands up to Paul. Byron quits Lasters. Paul throws Byron's uniform at Chloe. Now meets up with Melanie. Now tries to reassure Melanie about Toadie. Krista refuses to go to rehab. Therese moves out of the office Paul gave her. Byron gives Krista a lift home. Nicolette tells Wendy about her progress with the public protest, trying to save Erinsborough High. Byron gets Krista a room at Lassiter's. Melanie is waiting for a bus. Melanie has a photo of her and Toadie's wedding. Leo talks to Paul about his recent behaviour. Paul believes that Therese is still in love with him, and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. Next up is two videos. We've got an interview with Chloe, played by April Rose Pengilly, and we've got a clip featuring Jane, Susan, and Nicolette from the episode.
I am April Rose Pengilly. I play Chloe Brennan, and these are my Ramsay Street revelations.
Next up is my review of episode 42, released on the 28th of November 2023. The episode starts off with a brief recap and the title sequence. Paul looks at a picture of him and Therese. Melanie visits Paul. Paul tries to get Melanie to lie to the police. Melanie declines this, of course. Nell speaks to Melanie. Andrew asks Melanie to answer a few more questions at the station. Therese tells Toadie about her conversation with Paul. Toadie offers to pick up Therese's belongings from her previous office. Nell fills in Toadie about Melanie. Cara finds out that Remy is on her way home. Cara delegates jobs to both JJ and Dex about Christmas decorations. Melanie tells Paul that David, Aaron and Nicolette are not facing charges in their part in covering up Krista's presumed death. Toadie and Melanie bump into each other at Harold's. Melanie suggests she should attend family therapy with Nell, Toadie and Therese. Melanie tells Toadie who her lawyer is. Paul visits David and Aaron to tell them they are off the hook with the police. Aaron and David already know this. Paul promises to keep out of David's way if he returns to Erinsborough. Remy returns home. Remy hugs JJ and Dex. Paul finds out that Aaron wants to move back to Erinsborough. Nell talks to Therese about Melanie. Nell comments on Paul's bad behaviour. Toadie has changed Melanie's lawyer. Toadie did this for Nell. JJ and Dex hatch a plan to get Cara and Remy back on track. Toadie has picked up the rest of Therese's belongings. Toadie tells Therese about Melanie coming to family therapy with them, and now as well as changing Melanie's lawyer. David and Aaron talk about moving to Erinsborough. JJ and Dex ask Cara and Remy to leave the house while they cook. Therese tells Chloe about her retirement experience. David makes Aaron choose between him and living in Erinsborough, and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. Next up, we've got 2 interviews. We've got an interview with Krista, played by Magella Davis, and we've got another interview with David and Aaron. David's played by Takaya Honda, and Aaron's played by Matt Wilson. Let's have a look.
Hi, my name's Magella Davis, and I play Krista Sinclair, and these are my Ramsey Street revelations. So Neighbours is my first official big gig, so I'm very excited to be here. Krista Sinclair is the daughter of Conrad Sinclair, the billionaire. She's also sisters with Reese, and she's been told that she has to take on the family business, go into the family line, and she does not want to. So she has taken a little journey down to Ramsey Street to evade her family. Krista is a very outgoing person. She's very fun and eccentric, and she loves life. She loves the party vibe. I knew Misha was going to be on the show, and when I found out, I knew my character's name, but that's about the extent of everything. On the sheet, I saw Misha Button, and I was like, that's nice, and then it says Reese Sinclair, and I was like, Sinclair? Huh? And I found out she was my sister, so that was very wild. And she was so lovely, really welcoming. She was really excited to work with me, and I was obviously really excited to work with her. I just feel so overwhelmed to start on Neighbours. It was such a blessing, and it kind of crept up on me by surprise. I auditioned once upon a time for Nicolette Stone, and I also auditioned for Chloe once upon a time, and I guess Krista was meant to be. Lots of ups and downs for Krista, but there's great redemption coming your way. That is it from me. I look forward to seeing you all very soon.
Surprise! We're back!
Yeah, you thought you got rid of us, didn't you?
I'm Takaya.
I'm Matt.
And these are our Ramsey Street revelations.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 151, recorded on the 5th of December 2023, released on the 24th of December 2023. Before we get into the main topic of the episode, it's time for the final day, Day 24 of the 2023. We finished the 2023 Advent Calendar, as in the next episode will be the 2023 Christmas special. But before we get to that, it is time for the main topic of this episode, while we're reviewing episode 43 and 44 of the Neighbours reboot. So we're going to start off by reviewing episode 43, which was released on the 29th of November 2023. The episode starts off with a previously recap and a title sequence. David and Aaron argue about the ultimatum that David has just issued Aaron. Paul tells Leo about visiting David and Aaron. Chloe tells Leo and Paul that Reese and Krista's dad is dead. Byron tries to get into Krista's room. Krista asks Byron to go away. Mackenzie gets surprised when Holly comes out of nowhere with Trevor. JJ reassures Dex about their plan. Chloe tells... I've written that twice. Anyway, Byron tells Leo and Chloe about Krista not leaving her room. No, ignore me. Not leaving. David apologises to Aaron. Leo rings David for medical help for Krista. Leo asks David to return to Owensboro to help Krista. Aaron and David are on their way. JJ and Dex ask Remy and Cara to get changed. David tries to get Krista to open the door for him. Krista does. David talks to Krista. David reassures Krista. Mackenzie talks to Haz about Holly. Haz apologises to Mackenzie on Holly's behalf. David tries to get Krista to eat soup. Krista does. JJ and Dex escort Cara and Remy to their seats. Dex and JJ's plan seems to be working. Byron calls Reese and tells Leo about this conversation. Leo and Mackenzie catch up with Aaron. Aaron swims in Mackenzie, Byron and Haz's pool. Holly tells Haz and Mackenzie that Reese and Krista's dad is dead. Holly tells Krista that her dad is dead. Remy and Cara reminisce about their first date. Cara and Remy talk about their future. David goes in Krista's room but can't find her anywhere. And the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. Next up is we've got a video from the catering on Neighbours, as well as some return photos as well to talk through. So that's what's coming up next.
Hi guys, I'm Maddie. And I'm Laura. And we are catering assistants here at Neighbours. So we start the morning by preparing breakfast, and me and Maddie do coffees and tea. The guys are just in there preparing lunch, which will be ready soon. Lots of veggies, healthy salads, and always options for vegetarian and vegans as well. And today I think we've got a bit of a time theme going on.
Lunch is ready. Hope they enjoy.
Here they come.
What do you reckon's for lunch?
Here's our favourite customer.
Hi, Mads. So, what is for lunch? They look delicious, by the way. Lunch is so good here. They really do take the best care of us.
Everyone's happy. Everyone's loving lunch today.
Observe the loyalty card, the trusty loyalty card for coffee.
a delicious moment.
Almost done for the day. Thanks for joining us today, guys, in a day in the life of the Canteen Queens. See you next time. Bye. Bye.
Next up is we've got some return photos ahead of the next week of Neighbours, which reads, as the battle to save Edinburgh High heats up next week, look out for some faces from the past who come to join the fight. How many can you remember? So there's a picture of 7 there, which should be on screen now. I'm going to try and remember who they are. So we've got Summer Hoyland here, Brett Stark, Michelle Scully, Marty something, Melissa Jarrett, Richie and Tess. So yeah, coming up next will be my review and the final Neighbours review that I'm doing of 2023, which will be reviewing episode 44. So that's right, I'm reviewing the Neighbours reboot episode 44, released on the 30th of November 2023. The episode starts off with a previously recap and the title sequence. Holly, Leo and Byron talk about Krista's dad being dead. David, Leo, Holly and Byron search for Krista. Wendy, Nicolette and Sadie talk about the school protest. Jane and Therese talk about Edinburgh High being replaced by Therese's retirement experience. Tony talks to Therese about Susan. Tony talks to Therese and Susan talks to Jane about Therese and Jane's friendship. Jane remembers that she owes House 50 cents, which is 50p in the UK or equivalent. David finds Krista. David tells Krista why he isn't a doctor anymore. Has Holly and Byron talk about Krista. David and Leo tell Krista that Paul is their father. David apologises to Krista. Krista asks David to stay with her to avoid her using drugs. Byron and Mackenzie avoid Holly. Nicola asks Sam to babysit Isla. Therese talks to Susan about Therese offering Carl a job at her retirement experience. Holly drinks Haz's coffee, which she spits out. Haz blows up at Holly. Krista tells Leo about her conversation with Reese. David and Leo try to reassure Krista. Reese is gone. David tells Krista about the option about hiring a sober companion. Krista asks David to be her sober companion. Haz tells Mackenzie about his fight with Holly. Nicolette fills in Wendy and Sadie about Jane. David fills in Aaron about Krista entering rehab and asking him to be her sober companion. David agrees to return to Edinburgh full-time with Aaron, Nicolette and Isla. Susan reunites with Summer Hoyland. Summer tells Susan about the school protest. Haz and Holly talk about their expectations for each other. Holly and Haz kiss. Nicolette tells Sadie and Wendy that she's returning to Edinburgh full-time. Susan confronts Wendy, Nicolette and Sadie about the school protest, and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. We've got 2 videos to finish off this episode, so we've got a clip from the episode featuring Susan, Sadie, Wendy and Nicolette, and we've got, as always, the Robinsons Roundup.
Ah, hello there, welcome to Robinson's Roundup. What's been happening this week? And Nicolette's been rocking the boat, hasn't she?
Protest might be a long shot, but we have to try. Please.
She's changed. You know, it's as if she's a completely different woman. I just don't get it. Oh, and Toadie, he's stepped in to help Melanie. Nice to see those two getting along again, isn't it? Yeah.
I called in a favour at Legal Aid and I got Melanie a better lawyer.
It is for Nell's sake.
And it appears that the Varga-Murphy marriage is getting back on track. Apparently Dex and JJ intervened on that little number. Seems that kid is good for something after all. And I heard that Haz snapped at Holly this week. Didn't know he had it in him.
Weeks for that, and you just took it without asking. And the way that you are always here, all the time.
Okay, you should have said something.
I'm saying it now.
Oh, and the good news? I finally have something to thank Krista for. David and Aaron are staying. Thanks, Krista. Even if you're Aaron. So, well, that pretty much winds up this week. Hope you enjoyed what I had to say. If you didn't, tough. I don't really care. Why are you still here anyway? Get out of here.
So yeah, that was a clip from that episode, as well as the Robinsons Roundup. Who's Paul Robinson, played by Stephen Dennis, who does a recap of everything that happened on Neighbours this week, or the week that I've reviewed, not this week. That'll be coming in a couple of weeks' time. Anyway, so this is not only the end of this episode, it's the end of normal episodes for season 2 of the podcast, because we've got the Christmas special in the next episode, and then we've got 6 episodes celebrating the finale week of season 2 of the podcast. But don't worry, then season 3 premiere on the 1st of January, and then the 2nd of January will be carrying on. Even though there'll be a gap, I'll be carrying on from where I finished. I've not missed a whole chunk of stuff. But yeah, so let me know what you thought of the episodes of Neighbours if you watched them in the comments below. If you didn't watch them, let me know what you thought of my reviews. You can do, as I said, you can do both those in the comments below. Remember, you can also like and subscribe. And that's it for the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 151. Goodbye.